Hello, everybody. It's about that time. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hey, everybody. Thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. I'm hoping this is going to be a big treat. I really, really am. This is Victory Brewing's Tank to Table Batch Number 1 Double IPA 100% Cashmere Hops. And this was sent to me by Kevin. He sent me this beer and sent me the little tag flyer that goes with the beer. And it basically says, same thing I just said, cashmere hops, malt or acidulated, and pilsner, 9%er, and tasting notes, pineapple, citrus, juicy fruit, orange peel, and mango. Mostly what I get out of a great tasting IPA. And he says, small batch, brew pub only release, bringing experimental ingredients, recipes, and techniques directly from our tanks to your table. So, very nice. And he just sent a note stating, here's a small batch brew from Victory, which seems they're going to make a series, with this being the first. You can only pick these up at the brewery in person. They only brewed enough for 50 cases, so it's extremely limited. 50 cases, not very much for a big brewery like Victory. He said he was able to get one of those 50 cases, so he got a case. He was one of the 50 people. If everybody bought a case, which probably didn't go that way, but if there was 50 people in line and they all wanted a case, and that was probably the limit, they each got one case and it was over, done. He said he waited 3 hours on Saturday morning, February 25th, to get his hands on that case, and he was gracious enough to send me one of these. So Kevin, thanks again, my friend. I do appreciate it, sir. And he knew for a fact that it was brewed on February 23rd, and they had the release on February 25th, 2 days later. So it's very, very fresh, and he said, I hope you enjoy it. So, Kevin, I hope I do too. I hope it's going to be out freaking standing. To me, Victory makes some good beers, but they make some kind of mediocre stuff too. And I'm not aware, I haven't looked yet, and even being a small batch, they've got it canned on February 23rd, 2017. And today is the 2nd of March. So, week old. It's a week old. So, I appreciate him diligently standing in line for 3 freaking hours. I'm actually surprised if he stood in line that long, he was able to get a whole case of it. So evidently there was people only buying a 4-pack, a 6-pack. I don't know how they were selling it there, whether it be in a 4-pack. A lot of times the 9%ers come in 4-packs, especially when they're in a 16-ounce can like this. So, very appreciative of Kevin for waiting. I hope he didn't stand in the rain or was too cold that morning. He had to stand outside for 3 hours to get his hand on. If I stood in line 3 hours, I'd probably want to get at least a case of it too, and hoping it would be good. But knowing my way, my luck is I'd stand in line for 3 hours and get a case of it, and it wouldn't be that good. So I'm hoping for the best here, for his sake and mine. So, and it is so new. Like I said, it's a week old. Red Beer doesn't even have this beer listed at all, period. Not even there yet. And Beer Advocate has it listed, but nobody has made any comments or reviews on it. So it's maybe the first one you see publicly done. But like I said, I'm about a week ahead on the beer review. So today is the 2nd, and won't probably post till the 2nd week of March. Because I have already some queued up and uploaded and ready to go. And I just, and now that I'm doing 2 a day and have been for a while, we'll get to those quicker. And before we get into the beer, I will tell you I did reorder the beer shirts the other day, and by the time you see this, they'll probably only be a couple of days away from getting them. And as soon as I get them, I'll do a video on them. So we'll have all the sizes in the beer shirts again, and still got a few openers left here. And once the openers are gone, I'll reorder another batch of them. So if you need an opener, give me a shout right now. Let me know. You can send me an email at gtpuckett@comcast.net, and I still have 3X, 2X, and I got one medium and a couple smalls left in the t-shirts. Don't have any don't have any XLs or larges. And that seems to be the most popular sizes because they've disappeared first here. And I ordered a few extra each of those sizes. Hopefully that'll last a little bit longer. So let's get on with this beer. I've told you everything I need to tell you. I'll give you basically the commercial description off this little tag flyer that he sent me. So let's get this thing opened up, and I will tell you food pairing cuisine is barbecue. Cheeses are pepper, Monterey, pepper jack, sharp blue cheddar. Your stronger cheeses go well with this. And the meat is game, grilled meat, and salmon. Glass water snifter, tulip, oversized wine glass. I got my favorite snifter. And of course these silly boys at Beer Advocates say you can sell it because it's a 9%er. Don't do it. Don't even go there. Make this puppy fresher you can get your hands on it. And if you wasn't standing in line, you probably didn't get any, or not going to get any, unless somebody is willing to trade you something for this, or send it to you just out of the graciousness out of their heart, like Kevin has done to me. So, it is pretty cloudy, guys. It's kind of clear, not clear, but less cloudy down in this thin part down here. But up here, it is very cloudy, guys. So maybe they're going to get into some of these unfiltered looking. This definitely looks unfiltered. Doesn't look like a juice bomb. It doesn't look like orange juice in the glass. It's got a rich amber color. It didn't pour a big head. About a quarter finger just barely covering the top of the beer here. So let's get a nose on this fresh puppy. By no means is it a juice bomb. I mean, and like I said, cashmere hops. I'm not familiar with that hop, guys. I've never brewed with cashmere hops, so I don't know what profile to expect. It doesn't have a big up-in-your-face juice bomb or West Coast smell. I'm kind of surprised that it doesn't have a big more hoppy present than it does. To be honest, I'm getting some sweet malt. It's not a malt bomb by any means, but I'm not getting that whole lot of that like Pacific Northwest hops. Like I said, I'm not familiar with the cashmere hop. Not a lot of profile on the nose. Kind of disappointed about that. I figured it was. So I'm hoping he didn't stand in line for 3 hours for a mediocre beer. Let's dive in and see what we got. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Kevin. Alcohol is well hidden. This is by no means a juice bomb. Seems to be very well made because the alcohol is so well hidden. Seems to be a fairly well made beer because nothing is standing out more than the other. The hops are not overly profiled, and it's not super malty or anything. It's pretty easy drinking for a 9%er. I will give them that. I was expecting a little more on the hop profile, but it's not there. To me, it's more of a herbal, floral, more of a European style hop. It doesn't have a huge hop profile. The best thing right now, if it's right out of the fridge, we're going to sip on it and let it come up to room temperature. The best thing I can say right now about this beer that it is super easy to drink for a 9%. Alcohol notes are very well hidden, but there is not a super upfront in your face kind of hop profile for the cashmere hop, evidently. To me, more of a herbal, floral, European hop. That's basically what I'm getting here. But as fresh as this is, I know the hops have not faded, so very easy drinking. I would say, yeah, this will be a good one to sip on at a bar, and especially if you're not a hop head. Uh, don't know what the IBU's on this, but it doesn't seem to be very bitter on the back end. If you're not a big hop head like I am, and you're wanting to try a double IPA that's not going to blow your palate out of your mouth, this may be a good one to transition from a regular IPA or even a pale ale into a double IPA that doesn't have a super hop forward profile. And this one seems to be in that category to me, especially with all the juice bombs I've been getting lately. Very easy drinking, very nice, very well made beer, very balanced as far as not having a super hot profile. So let's let it warm up, come at room temperature, let her have a sip 2 or 3. I'm not blown away right now, so we'll reserve judgment and see where we end up on this one. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. I've been sitting on it for a while now. I'm a little underwhelmed with this. Evidently the cashmere hops are more in the European style, like I said. They're not the big up in your face like a Pacific Northwest hop is going to be, like either a Simcoe or a Citra or not even a Cascade or Mosaic or anything like that. It doesn't have a big spiciness like in the New Zealand or Australian hops have. It's a well-made beer. The alcohol is super well hidden. Nothing is overpowering. The malt's not overpowering the hops, and very easy drinking. A good transitional IPA if you're not a hop head and you want to try something with a little more alcohol. I mean, if they called us an Imperial Pale Ale, I think it would fit the category a little bit better than an Imperial IPA. I don't know what the IBU's on it, but it's not very bitter to drink. It's very well made. I keep saying that, but it's a very well made beer. Slight hint of a little bit of citrusiness in there. And I can tell it's a double IPA by the maltiness, and not over malty. It's not a malt bomb by any means, but I can tell by the amount of malt they've used in this that it is a double. But it's not, if you're a hop head and you're expecting a juice bomb or a West Coast style or any of that up in your face hop profile, the cashmere hops are not doing that. They are absolutely not doing it. And like I said, the beer is only a week old. So this is exactly the way it's going to taste at the brewery if they did any kegs of this. Not sure I would buy this, and not sure I would not be disappointed if I had stood in line 3 hours to get a case of this. It is at 9%. You drink 3 of these, you're going to have your buzz on. And it's not going to be super heavy or super hoppy that's going to turn your palate off if you're not a hop head. But to me, I think this is more of an Imperial Pale Ale than an Imperial IPA. Just my 2 cents. But it's still, Kevin, I do appreciate your effort of standing in line that long and being able to get a case of this. I hope you're happy with it. I'm not sure I would buy this. I'm not sure I would not be disappointed if I had stood in line that long to get a case of this. But like I said, it's very easy drinking, very well made. So let's do the final chug on this, and I'll tell you what I think there, if I haven't already. To me, very transitional, guys, for an IPA. I would call this an Imperial Pale Ale. That's exactly where I would put it. It is not to the IPA category, in my honest opinion. If it had been an Imperial Pale Ale, yes, I can see that, because it's not got that big up-in-your-face hop profile with this. So, to me, guys, I do think it's well made. It's a very tasty beer, but if you're a hop head, you may be a little disappointed in what they've produced here. I wish they'd used a different hop other than the cashmere. This would have probably been outstanding. And it does have the date on the bottom of the can. So, with that being said, typically I would have probably given this a B, but since it does have the date on it, and given Kevin the kudos for weathering 3 hours of standing in line, I'm going to give it to B+. Numeric rating from you guys on this would probably be 88. That's where I would put this beer. But I wouldn't call it an IPA. And like I said, if you're a hophead, you may be a little disappointed in this, as I was. Not so much to say it's a bad beer or anything like that, because it is not a bad beer. But I don't see it falling into the Imperial or double IPA category with the hop profile I'm getting on a 1 week old beer. So, like I told you, Beer Advocate doesn't have any ratings at all. Nobody's even commented on it, and Rate Beer doesn't even have it listed. It's so new. So, and over to Untappd, they have it listed. They've had 60 people comment on this beer. So, evidently, the guys at Untappd are on the ball, and the ones that did stand in line for 3 hours, quite a few of them have posted comments on this, and they're giving it, with averaging all those out, to 3.79, which is at their B+ category, and that's where I'm putting it. It is a B+ beer. So, if you've had this one, if you're one of the lucky ones that did stand in line, or somebody's traded you this or gave you one, like Kevin did to me and sent it to me, let me know what you think, guys. I may be a little conservative on this, but like I said, it's not something, if you're a hophead and you're expecting a small batch, oh yeah, this is going to be good. And like I said, it looked like an unfiltered beer to me, which a lot of the breweries are going to. But I just think the Cashmere hop has let this beer down just a little bit. Not being a super pungent, I call them West Coast style, up in your face style of hops. So if you're brand new into the double IPAs, give this one a try if you can get your grubby little hands on it. But if you're a seasoned hop beer drinker and into these juice bombs like I've been drinking here lately, it's going to be a little underwhelming. So, but I do appreciate Kevin's effort and weathering the storm for 3 hours to get his hands on this. So I did enjoy it. I'm glad I got to try it and review it for you guys. If you've had it, let me know what you think, guys. Come on back tomorrow. Let's take something out of the fridge. See you then.